Story time! Hello everyone, greetings to you watching me from different places. Now, today I want to tell you my story, and it is based on a true life story, something that happened to me and it made me to reject alcohol. Now, it was in this year, it was in 2016, and by then I was in between 15 to 16 years, and it was on a big day. I think it was on a Christmas. Yeah, here in Uganda, by then, there were these types of alcohol which were packed in the sackets and they were very cheap. They were like 500 shillings to 1000, in between there. Some were ranging from 500, you understand? So, and it was on this big day, it was on a Christmas. Now, excitement was high as usual, being a big day, yeah, you could be having money. So, I got some money because they were cheap. And I went and I bought some 2 or 3 sockets. And I was like, no, today being a big day, I need to spoil myself. So we went to the club and yeah, started drinking. We were boozing. Everything was moving on well. The party was rolling on very well. The vibes were high until at this time, I think it was in between 1 to 2 a.m., deep in the night, when an idea came into my mind that I should call my mom. Imagine at that time, I had to go out. I picked my phone. I dialed my mom's contact and I called her. I was like, Mommy, it's me, your son Eddie. Please don't mind about me. I am safe. I know I am drunk. Thank you for taking good care of us. We love you for that. What? Just rubbish, just nonsense. Speaking to her nonsense. At that time, imagine the disrespect alcohol brought into my mind. Calling my mom at that time, 1 to 2 a.m. Why? And we talked for about 5 minutes plus. And what surprised me the most, even, mom never ended the call. She was just listening to what I was saying, and I wasn't talking to her calmly. I was yelling, I was screaming, I was like shouting, I am okay. What? At that time. But anyway, after having ended the call, I went back with my friends and we were jazzing, we were clubbing, we were oozing. Everything was just going on well. And then when I realized it was now 5 going to 6 a.m., I was like, no, I think I need to go back home now. I started moving, walking from town up to home. And thank God I reached safely. Nothing happened to me. Now, when I reached our compound, our home compound, some idea came into my mind that no, before entering my house, I need to ease myself. So I had to locate where our latrine was. I removed my phone and I went with it to the latrine. I used my hands for opening the door of the latrine. When I entered inside, remember the flash of the phone was on, the torch was on. I had to flash the pit latrine. Now something came into my mind and I started asking myself why the door of the latrine was narrow, in fact was small compared to usual days. Remember, I was flashing and looking into the pit latrine. My mind was telling me that that pit latrine was the door of the latrine. Imagine. So I tried so many attempts to enter in the pit latrine in the mind that I'm entering in the latrine. I could try entering with single leg, I failed. Both legs, I failed. I tried all attempts that I should enter into the latrine. For about 5 minutes, I was trying my best to make sure that I enter in the latrine, which was the pit, which I was also flashing with the torch. Now, after all these failed attempts, I stood in the latrine and I was like, what's the problem? I started asking myself, and then all of a sudden, I had to flash back and I looked and I saw a door of the latrine. Then I came to realize that, hey, it seems like I'm in the latrine already. And now, by that confusion, I was like, everything is now confusing. Better let me go and ease myself outside. Then I went out. I eased myself. There are some short calls, some sus, like short call. You understand? I went and eased myself. Then I went and I slept. Now, by the time I woke up during the day, the guilt of what I had done to my mom couldn't leave me. I stayed for about an hour awake, trying to form ways in my mind how I could go and confront my mom. And I expressed myself to her and I apologized to her because really calling your mom at 1 or 2, imagine the time, and talking to her rubbish like that, an African mother. So I had to frame a lot of things in my mind. Now I couldn't hold it anymore. I was like, okay, worst come to worst, let me go. I had to go to my mom. There was nothing else I could do but just to apologize to her for having embarrassed her at that time of the night, yelling at her, shouting at her, alcohol. And after that, I tried my best to stay away from it. However much I stayed, sometimes there could be excitements, just it was cheap. 500 to 600, it was affordable. So sometimes if you get such money, you just go and do what you go and buy. And remember, I was young at that time, in between 15 to 16, somewhere there, but I was now taking alcohol. Now, the thing that made me to come and lose total interest in it was one day, I think it was on a Sunday, and there was some wedding in our village. So due to excitement once again and the cheap things, I went and I bought about 4 to 5 sockets, 4 to 5, and I had to take due to excitement, in the village, that time. So after taking, I think that was an overdose for me because I started feeling weak from that point, and I had to go home And when I reached home, I entered the house and I slept. Had it not been for my mom who had gone to check on me on that day, if I had entered or not in the house, I think maybe who knew what would have happened to me? Because I fell sick at the middle of the sleep. I didn't even realize, but I just found myself sick and really, I just found myself weak, like not talking anymore. Now, when she realized that things were worse, she called my brother and they rushed me to the hospital. The doctors had to run tests for malaria and typhoid plus other things. I think they found all of them negative, negative, negative. And they were asking themselves what the problem was. But at the back of my mind, I knew that alcohol was torturing me. For about 4 days, we were in the hospital without any clear reason. Now, from that time, I just realized that me and alcohol, or alcohol and I, not meant to be together or not meant to be friends. That is why I've tried myself as much as possible from that time up to now to keep away, to distance myself from alcohol. But now I am not ruling the fact that I don't take it completely. You know, excitements do come, and yeah, a glass of wine can be enough. Sometimes a bottle or two of beer, yeah, they can work, and they can't be regularly. Those can be like once in a year or even not. The relationship between alcohol and I each and every year keeps on pushing far and far. So I don't know if you still take it or not, but that is my story, my true life story, which happened to me. So thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed time.